Welcome
What's
to
up,
people.
Worth?
All right, let me
Loud.
tell you something.
If you
Super
don't like
loud,
Tiger
coming in
Woods,
hot, or you don't like
got
golf,
a little Sunday fun
or
day
you're
in
first
me today.
tuning in. This is the first time you've ever listened to
It's
this
Masters
show.
Week.
Last week we talked about how to plan a
We're
golf
talking
trip.
Tiger Woods.
It's
In
Masters Sunday.
preparation
It's
for the Masters.
I've got
It's
chills.
the Masters.
You'll get
it's the
chills.
first tournament that
Tune in.
a lot of people
enjoy
think
the
kick
episode.
off the golf
As
season.
always,
It is
like,
the first
subscribe,
major of the
share
year.
it on social media. That's how we grow.
And
that's how I
From
become the number
since
one
Thursday,
podcast
I
in the
have
neighborhood.
had a blast
We're
watching
going big,
it,
people.
and,
Tiger
been
Woods, tune
indulging
in,
a little
enjoy.
bit in the adult beverages, as you might say. And actually, I behaved myself today until Lindsay came home. She got her nails done after church and said, "I'm going to have a glass of wine," as Tiger was winning. And I said, "You know what? You bet your fucking ass I'm going to have a beer." And I've had a couple beers, and now I'm into my normal Copperhead. Vodka. I've substituted the vodka for the gin because I don't have any more vodka left because I drank it all. Gin, ginger ale, and lime wedge. It's delicious. The weather is held off today in Charlotte. Bad weather all around the Carolinas today, but the sun is out right now. It is about 7:30 at night, and I'm kind of coming down from my high of Tiger winning the Masters, and that is what we're going to talk about today, people. We are going to talk about Mr. Tiger Woods. And I don't care what your opinion is of him, and I'm going to talk about that as well, and the perception and the things that people of his stature might go through and that we maybe don't understand, as well as you as an individual and me as an individual and judgments and all those things that we do as humans. But sun's shining right now, and I'm excited, and what a way to end the weekend. We got spring break for the kids this week, so it's going to be fucking crazy around this household because we're not going anywhere. So we got the kids without school. Thankfully, grandparents, Lindsay's parents are coming up for the week from Florida. They got their Carolina home here, and my parents live here. So hopefully that'll be nice. We'll get some help, which some of you might not get, and for those of you that don't, I apologize if you get pissed at me when I say that I do that to help, because I do, and I know it's a luxury and it's a nice thing that I have. But we got the kids all week, spring break. We're not doing anything because we have so much vacation planned for the summer for the family and us as a couple. So didn't take any spring break time, but I digress. We'll go back. Let's go Masters. So if you like golf, and even if you don't like golf, I think what you need to understand is that this is like the Super Bowl of. It's not like it is, in my opinion, this is the Super Bowl of the sport, right? So NASCAR has their season kickoff with Daytona, and that's like the Super Bowl, right? So wherever every other sport ends with this major event. Baseball has the World Series, football has the Super Bowl, the NBA Finals, Stanley Cup, all that. NASCAR and golf are a little different, right? So you have golf, to me, it's the Masters. It's the same place every single year. Same tournament, limited invites, all this stuff, the prestige, the tradition, everything around it. NASCAR, same thing, right? Daytona, it holds a certain prestige, this high level of tradition, all that stuff, right? So in golf, the Masters, in my opinion, is the Super Bowl. Taking a big gulp right there. Big gulp of the Copperhead. I'm going to put that down. And what better way as a golf fan? Because if you're a true golf fan, you have to appreciate what Tiger Woods has gone through from a personal and professional perspective to get himself back to form to beat the best players in the world. Not contend, not stay in the middle of the pack, not be this guy that, hey, he's still having a good career, he's still making the money, he's making cuts. The dude is going out and he's winning golf tournaments. And not only did he just win a golf tournament, he won arguably the most prestigious golf tournament of the year, the Masters, for the 5th time in his career. So he has 15 majors. So if you're not familiar with golf, majors, again, are your 4 large golf tournaments. It's the Masters, it's the PGA Championship, it's the U.S. Open, and it's the Open Championship, which takes place in the UK, where golf originated from. Right? Scotland, England, Ireland, the UK. The dude has won 15 majors. I think I just heard my kids screaming in the background. They're, screaming. Wonderful. 15 majors. 5th green jacket. So he's won the Masters 5 times. First time he's won the Masters since 2005. So 14 years is the last time that he won the Masters. It's his first major win when trailing in the final round. I just want you to hear what I just said. And let's put that into, like, just think about the dominance of this man in a sport. In an individual sport, too, where it is only you, right? Like, I play golf a lot, and what I read a lot and try and figure out when you're playing golf, because when you get into like competition form, and again, we'll go back to planning a golf trip. You go into these golf trips with your friends, and if you have competitive rounds and everything, the one thing that I always hear the most is you're not playing the opponent. Don't play the opponent, right? Because that opponent is playing the same golf course as you're playing. You should go out and play the golf course. The golf course is truly your opponent, not the actual individual that you're facing off against. And so in an individual sport, right, the dominance of this man is incredible. 15 majors, and this is the first major he has ever won when trailing going into a final round. That means all previous 14 major wins, he had the lead going into Sunday. Just beating the field in general, having the lead after 3 rounds and winning 14 majors. And today showed his perseverance, his dedication to the craft, his just desire and drive to win, that he battled against the best. And if you looked at that leaderboard, these are the best players in the world. Francisco Molinari arguably is one of the best up-and-coming, if not one of the best. He is one of the best golfers in the world. He's a top 10 golfer in the world, and he went into Sunday with a multiple stroke lead, and he could not hold back Tiger Woods. And if you know Molinari, you know his game, and you watch him, he's very steady. He doesn't get a lot. He doesn't let a lot of things bother him. He just kind of goes through what he has as a game plan against the course. Again, not the opponents, the course. And today, he started to stutter a little bit. I think there was one point in time, it was like the 5th hole. Can't remember exactly. It was in the front 9. He bogeyed, and it was only his 2nd bogey in the entire tournament. That's how steady that guy had played the in this tournament. That he went into the last round paired with Tiger Woods and Tony Finau. And Finau, the day before, had one of the best rounds ever. I think he shot like a 64, something like that. Something ridiculous. Guy went low on Saturday. But you're with Tiger Woods, right? The of the players that are playing today, the Mount Rushmore of golf, right? This guy is the god of golf. And you're still playing really good, and then, things just kind of came apart a little bit for him. But, back to Tiger, he's facing off against the best players in the world. Tony Finau, a Ryder Cup player. I mean, a guy that he is up and coming. I think Molinari is a little ahead of him for the fact that he's won a major championship before. He's won a Ryder Cup and stayed steady through that, and was arguably one of the, if not the best player, maybe Fleetwood, for Europe last summer in Paris, but last fall in Paris for the Ryder Cup. But Molinari, he's there. Finau, a guy that is really showing how good he can be. And then guys charging up the leaderboard in front of him. Dustin Johnson, Brooks Koepka, two of the guys that are again, arguably some of the best players. They are the best players in the world. They're putting up scores. Xander Schauffele, another up-and-coming guy, a guy that just missed out on the Ryder Cup last year. He put a charge into the tournament. That leaderboard was incredible. Like, if you put together the Masters and you're that committee that looked at that every single day, you looked at that leaderboard and said, this tournament's awesome. This is why we're considered the best. That leaderboard, yes, only 87 people or so get invited to it, and they are the best 87 players in the world. So you expect the leaderboard to be what it is, but there's usually one or two or three or four guys that kind of sneak their way into it. Patrick Cantlay kind of did that today. Like, he snuck up there for a while. He held the lead for a second and then backed off. Couldn't hold it. But I remember like players like Charlie Hoffman a couple years ago would hold the lead after two rounds and then kind of just fall back. Like, that's what you always expect that in the Masters. And then you expect the big time players to kind of prevail through. And this year, it was a little different for the fact that these top players were there. Mickelson was in the hunt for a while, didn't finish strong, but he put himself in contention. Justin Thomas was there. Jon Rahm was there. You know, these top players in the world were all there. And Tiger, a guy that has gone through so much adversity, doesn't matter. So much adversary. That's right. It just sounds weird. I've been drinking. Anyways, a guy who's been through so much, right? And golf's so hard. And for somebody that plays it, it's a hard sport. And you need to practice so much. And you're playing against guys that have been practicing and playing and are top of their game and the best players in the world. To come back from the injuries, from the personal stuff, and I'm going to touch on the personal stuff in a little bit. But all of that, and to turn it around at 43 years of age. Again, golf is a sport that you can play for a long time, right? That's why a lot of people play it. And a lot of people that retire play it forever because it's a sport that you can play for a long time. It's not like a baseball or a basketball or a hockey or anything like that to where, you know, you basically parts of your body start giving out. Golf, you know, your back and your knees and everything, they do give out, and you see that with Tiger Woods. But, you know, it is a sport that you can play a long time, but it's not especially nowadays, it's not normal for the guys in their 40s to be winning tournaments. Winning tournaments, yes, but not majors, right? Like, Kuchar's been playing well over the last couple months, and he's been winning, and he's in his 40s. Mickelson has won a couple tournaments. He's in his late 40s. So it happens, right, because these guys are that good. But to come back from everything that he's gone through and to come back and win a major, and he won the FedEx, he won the tournament for the FedEx Championship last year, Tiger did. But to continue that and to get to that pinnacle again, it's something special. And for somebody like me who grew up watching Tiger Woods, I got chills today. Like, watching him celebrate, that gave me chills. And I was cheering, and I put all of the personal stuff aside, right? I don't know this man. I don't know what it's like to be Tiger Woods. I don't know what it's like to have that type of celebrity, that type of money, that type of just aura around you. I don't know, and I'll never know, and that's fine. So I don't sit here and judge. And there's a lot of people that do and want to beat him up and want to talk shit about him and all that stuff. And that's fine that, you know, that you're allowed to do that, because what he did, first off, I'm not okaying what he did. From a married man as myself, you know, that's something that marriage is very sacred, and you don't ever do what he did in his marriage. At the same time, we all have areas that as people we can improve on. And so we're very quick to always point at somebody, especially somebody that has, you know, this microscope on them, to say, well, yep, see, you fucked up, you're a piece of shit. We all knew it. Ha ha ha. we don't like you, da 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 da. We're so quick to judge and throw this just nastiness on people. Yet we don't want to look at ourselves and go, yeah, but I'm probably a little similar because I do this or I do that, right? Like, no one's perfect, is what I'm getting at. What he did was wrong. What I'm seeing from the guy, again, I don't know him, but what I'm seeing from the guy is that he's trying to change his perception, and he's trying to change what people think of him. And I don't think he's just doing it to gain recognition again. I think he's doing it because he did for somebody like him and his celebrity. He saw somebody that I think he saw the rock bottom for somebody like him, to where the wife moved on, his fortune gets cut in half or whatever it was, endorsements went out the window, he was no longer able to perform at a high level like he used to on the golf course, which is what everybody knew him as. So this is a broken man, and he's come back, and he tried to make a couple comebacks, and in all honesty, for somebody like him, it was embarrassing. The guy's coming out and shooting in the 80s. And for me, oh man, that'd be incredible. Yeah, I'd love it. You shot an 82? Fantastic. Dude, that's a good round, man. For him, it was embarrassing. It wasn't what, he was used to, and I think it humbled him a lot. So the change of perception, I don't think is for the overall fortune of trying to gain back what he once had. I think it is because he's humbled. Could be wrong, right? And I've been proved wrong before, but I think in this instance, I don't think that is the case. So for those of you that judge, I just want you to just think about everything that this guy has gone through. I mean, the guy was on Johnny Carson when he was 3 years old. I mean, the guy has always had this celebrity around him. You don't know what that's like. I don't know what that's like. We're not perfect people. I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. It's easy to sit here because they're on the television and in the media to judge them. Look at what the guy has done in the last couple of years of turning his life around, and we should celebrate that, and the fact that if you're a golf fan or a sports fan in general, the guy is good. The guy is good for sports. He's good for golf. He's good for the growth of the sport, right? Like, he might be in his mid-40s, but today my 6-year-old knew who Tiger Woods was. I grew up, and my generation grew up idolizing this guy. I remember 7th grade, I had the Nike hat that he wore, and side story, got it stolen out of my locker 7th grade by this kid Eric Dalton. And anybody from Rhode Island that's listening to this, you all remember Eric Dalton. Fuck that guy, okay? Because I remember I went to my locker after one of the periods, and my locker was open and the hat was gone, and underneath the brim of the hat I had my name and everything, because that's what you did as a kid, right? You wrote your name and everything underneath the brim. And and he was on my bus because he lived right down. He was like 1 or 2 stops off the bus from and he was wearing the damn hat on the bus. And I called him out about it because he put white out underneath the brim of the hat to white out my name. And he was kind of a bully, piece of shit, trashy motherfucker. And I'm okay with saying that because fuck that guy stealing shit from other kids. Again, we're not all perfect. And I'm sitting here saying, no, don't judge people. Well, fuck that guy. He stole from me. And he stole my fucking Tiger Woods hat. And that's why this story is important. And then I call him out about it, and him and his trashy-ass sister are like, oh, no, that's his hat, and they get off the bus. I wanted to fucking beat his ass. He was bigger than me, so I didn't. I said, you know what? I move on. I'm the bigger man here. Obviously, what year is it, 2019? I'm not over it. Stole my Tiger Woods hat, motherfucker. Anyways, we all had it, right? Like growing up, you idolized Tiger Woods. He's what made you want to play golf. That is why there's so many young players in their mid-20s, late 20s, early 20s that are playing golf and they are that fucking good is because they all watched Tiger Woods growing up. He's good for the sport. The roars that you heard today throughout Augusta National were not for any other players. Dustin Johnson finished today minus 12, minus 11. I'll look. In his interview afterwards, he said you could hear the roars throughout the course. And he goes, and I played really well. And he goes, and I know my roars versus Tiger roars, and they're nowhere near as loud. He's great. Not good. He's great for the sport. And so when he wins, and yes, eventually his time will come and he will fade off into the sunset. And I'm glad that it wasn't through injury a few years ago and the way that it was all happening. I'm glad that he's getting his redemption to end his career. It might be another 4 to 5 years, right? 6 years. The body that he has is going to break down again, in my opinion. But at least he's getting this redemption. And I hope that he takes full advantage of it because it's great for the sport. And if you're a golf fan, you want to see golf continue to grow. And Tiger's good for golf. He's great for golf. And all these young players, they're great for golf. Right? And the fact that when you watched him win today, you saw all these guys waiting for him, that shows the impact that he has on the sport. They all know it. Ricky was there. Justin Thomas was there. Brooks Koepka was there. They were all there to congratulate him. All these guys are the next generation, quote unquote, Tiger Woods, right? Nobody's going to be Tiger Woods again. So, all of that said, I wanted to just kind of go through everything with Tiger Woods because of how incredible of a career he has. And for those of you that don't understand it, this will help. Give me a second. Taking a big gulp. Tiger Woods. Today, 5th green jacket, 15th major. I talked about that earlier. First time since 2005. First time since 2005 he won Augusta National, the Masters. First major win, trailing in the final round. Talked about that earlier. And first major win in 11 years when he won the U.S. Open in 2008 at Torrey Pines, which he beat Rocco Mediate in an 18-hole playoff on a broken leg. Shall I repeat? 18-hole playoff. They walked the fucking course. He had a broken leg and he beat the dude. That right there should fucking tell you that he's the greatest player of all time. The guy beat a guy with a fucking broken leg. He walked a 7,000-yard course on a broken leg while playing 18 holes of golf and beat him. The GOAT. U.S. Open. Let's talk about the other majors. U.S. Open, I mentioned it earlier. U.S. Open, PGA Championship, and the Open Championship. He has won the Masters 97, 2001, 2002, 2005, 2019. So he's gone 14 years without winning the Masters. So it's incredible. A great win. Means a lot to him, right? U.S. Open he's won 3 times, in 2000, 2002, and 2008. The Open Championship he's won 3 times, 2000, 2005, 2006, and he's won the PGA Championship 4 times. So for those of you, Charlotte hosted the PGA 2 years ago. Last year was in St. Louis. The year before was out in Quail Hollow here in Charlotte. Justin Thomas won. PGA 4 times, 99, 2000, 06, 07. So if you followed along with the years there, you will see the dude won 3 out of 4 majors in the year 2000. He won the U.S. Open, the Open Championship, and the PGA in 2000. He did not win the Masters, but he won it the next year in 01 and then repeated in 02. And then that same year in 02, he won the U.S. Open. Give me a break. Now, here's a great little thing to think about. 4 majors in a year. The Masters, the U.S. Open, the PGA, the Open Championship. This year, there are 3 courses out of the 4 majors Tiger has won on before. Augusta, Bethpage, and Pebble. The Open Championship at Royal Portrush he has not won before. He won Bethpage in 2002, and he won Pebble in 2000. So, could he be the favorite for the PGA? The PGA is at Bethpage this year, and the U.S. Open's at Pebble this year. Could he be the favorite? Hard not to put him as the favorite. Just think about it. 81 PGA Tour victories. That's second all time. Sam Snead has 82. So Tiger's going to pass him, right? I mean, that's just going to happen. Tiger is going to win more tournaments. He's just going to. He's just going to. So Sam Snead, so eventually Tiger will be the number one player on the PGA Tour for victories. Sam Snead currently holds that with 82. On the European Tour, Tiger has won 41 times. He's in third. Bernhard Langer has 42 wins, and Seve Ballesteros has 50. He's not going to beat Seve because I don't think Tiger's going to play enough on the European Tour. I think he's kind of past that point in his career to where he's going to be going over there a lot and playing. I think where he's going to stick to is the PGA Tour, which is here in the U.S. for the most part. So I don't think he'll ever pass Seve. He might pass Langhart, and Langhard's got 42 victories, so he could move up to second all-time on the European Tour. And then he has 16 other victories elsewhere, Asia Tour and some other tours. 108 total wins. On the course. This is on the course. This includes everywhere else that he's finished from doesn't win or whatever, but on the course earnings. You might want to sit down for this. The guy on the course, not endorsements, nothing else outside of just going and playing golf, has won $188,309,570. Get the fuck out of here. $188 million playing golf? Not endorsements. And again, golf, a very individual sport, it is like a lot like NASCAR. You watch these guys on TV, they have sponsorships. They have these companies all over their chest, their hats, their bags, anything, the clubs they use, the ball they use, the tees they use, the glove they use, anything that has to do with what they're putting out there, the apparel they're wearing, the shoes, anything they're getting paid for. Take all of that away, and the guys earned $188 million just by playing golf. Absolutely insane. Go back to the Masters. He is second for Masters victories. By winning today, he surpassed Arnold Palmer. Arnold Palmer had 4 Masters victories. If he wins the Masters again, he will tie Jack Nicklaus, who has 6 Masters victories. He has 15 major wins, talked about that earlier, and 5 Master wins, both second all-time behind Jack Nicklaus. So Jack holds the record for major wins and Master wins. 14 years between Master wins, longest gap in tournament history, and at 43 years old, he is the oldest Masters champion since Jack Nicklaus in 1986. 33 years? That's pretty fucking impressive, man. Just continuing with the how incredible this guy is. I've got more stats to run through because I'm just so excited about it, right? Like, I talked about it earlier. I had chills. Like, this week was so fun to watch from a golf fan's perspective. You know, you always look at the Masters every year, and it's like, again, I talked about it last week. If you listen to that episode, it's like the kickoff of the season, and spring is in effect, and you know, you just kind of don't know what the weather's going to be because it can be crazy or it can be perfect. There's been times where it's like 30 degrees out there, and then there's times where it just rains the whole week, and then there's times where it's beautiful and 80. And this week we had a mixture of both, and they had to move the tee times up this Sunday because of how bad these storms were that are rolling through. Incredible. But let's talk about him again. I want to go back into him as a player and why he is so important to golf, especially in the time and the era that he played in. He was the world number one for the most consecutive weeks. He holds this record, by the way. Consecutive weeks, and for the greatest total number of weeks of any golfer. He's been awarded the PGA Player of the Year a record 11 times, and has won the Byron Nelson Award for lowest adjusted scoring average a record 8 times. Woods has the record of leading the money list in 10 different seasons. He has won 15 professional major golf championships. We talked about that. Jack Nicklaus has 18. So Tiger needs to have a big year if he wants to try and potentially catch Jack. He leads all active golfers in career major wins and career PGA Tour wins, of course. He's the youngest player to achieve the career Grand Slam. The career Grand Slam is winning all 4 majors. You don't have to win it all in one year, but you have to win all 4 majors. That's the Grand Slam. And is only the second golfer after Nicklaus to achieve a career Grand Slam 3 times. Woods has won 18 World Golf Championships. Everything that I just said, you can look it up on Wikipedia. I don't need to go through all of it for you, but it's impressive. It really is. PGA Player of the Year, PGA Tour Player of the Year, PGA Tour leading money winner, the FedEx Cup champion 2 times. He's just... He's pretty damn impressive. And the argument always is, well, he's not the greatest, and to be the greatest, you have to beat Jack in the majors. But he has more wins than Jack does. Arguably plays in a more competitive tour than Jack did. And I'm sure there's going to be people out there going to give me shit about this, but I don't really care. I find the argument really to not be there. Yes, Jack is incredible. Arnie, incredible. These players were incredible. What they've done. Tiger and who now, of course, he's facing off against. Maybe early on in his career, it wasn't as competitive as it is now because he brought that competitiveness to golf. He brought these kids to golf, the Spieths, the Thomases, the DJs, the Koepkas, the Rorys, the Rickies. He created this new generation of players that chose this sport over others, your traditional sports in America. And they've been competitive, and they don't back down. That's something I do appreciate. I think early on in his career, he was just going out and dominating players, and Phil was somebody that obviously he would have some really good battles with. Vijay Singh had a couple good years against Tiger or with Tiger. But now you look at these players, these guys don't back down from them. They respect them, but at the same time, they're not afraid of them, which I think is fantastic because I think that's what it should be about. If you're playing an individual sport, never, and it goes back to what I was talking about earlier, your opponent's the course, not the player. You can't control what that player does. You can only control what you do against that course. So that's how the mentality should be, right? With these players is, yes, right, he brings a certain aura about him, and it's Tiger Woods. But go and play the course. That's my advice to you from a 13 handicapper. Go and play the course. Okay? I'm happy. My entire Instagram feed is Tiger stuff from every golf company, media outlet, everybody that I follow. It is Tiger, Tiger, Tiger. Today was a great day. What a great tournament. What a great leaderboard. What a fun weekend. The weather didn't really become a huge factor, which they thought it might have. But, man. I mean, here's your top 5. It's opening up. I just selected it. Here's your top 5. Tiger Woods, 1, -13. Tied for second, Dustin Johnson, Xander Schauffele, Brooks Koepka. Heavy hitters in golf as of today, -12. Tied for 5th, Jason Day, Webb Simpson, Tony Finau, Francisco Molinari, all at -11. It's a hell of a leaderboard. What a great tournament. Fun to watch. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. And yeah, that's my opinion on Tiger and the tournament. And I'd love to understand your thoughts on it and what you think of him. But again, I put the personal stuff and, the perception of him behind. And because I'm not going to sit here and judge. I'm not going to sit here and judge him for the fact that I know I'm not perfect and that if I had that microscope on me, who knows what type of mistakes I would make. And, I talked about it, and I'm going to say it again. I've said it a lot today. I've talked about it earlier. Marriage is sacred, and what he did in his marriage, I'm not saying was right. It was totally wrong. But we make mistakes, and it's how you come back from those mistakes that makes you a tougher and better person, and I think that's what he is today. So, I hope you enjoyed this one. As always, I said it earlier, like, subscribe, share. Let's make this the #1 podcast in South Charlotte. Right now, it's the #1 podcast in my neighborhood, and I'm crushing it. So let's make it #1 in South Charlotte. Have a great week. I appreciate you guys.